This is Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network, and this is a breaking news alert. We are learning about the extent and the quantity and the classification of top secret, sensitive, compartmented information that was found at Mar-a-Lago even prior to August 8th of 2022, when the search warrant was validly executed at Mar-a-Lago. And we're learning about this from two sources. First, from a blockbuster New York Times report earlier in the day on Monday. And second, from a letter, a May 10th letter between the National Archivist and one of Trump's lawyers. And this letter, this May 10th letter, was published by Trump's PR flack, that person John Solomon, who you've been seeing making the rounds on radical right extremist TV, which talks about over 700 pages of classified information. So first, let's talk about the New York Times blockbuster report from earlier in the day, where it was revealed that over at least 300 documents were obtained by the FBI and the DOJ that were classified information. We're talking about top secret information. We're talking about sensitive, compartmented information, some of the highest categories of national secrets, documents that belong to the CIA that were essentially stolen by Donald Trump when he left the White House in January of 2021. And the documents were retrieved by the National Archives in January of 2022. They reviewed it by May of 2022, and then they were able to look through it. Why did it take so long from January to May? Well, between that time, Donald Trump and his lawyers were obstructing the FBI from reviewing these records, and they were making a claim of executive privilege over these top secret and sensitive compartmented information. Totally and utterly absurd claims, such that the executive branch had to be contacted, because executive privilege is not held by past administrations, it's held by prior administrations. Regardless, with respect to these documents, executive privilege wouldn't apply. These are documents that belong to the CIA, documents that belong to the NSA, documents that belong to the government. There are no executive privilege documents. It's an absurd claim. But in any event, the National Archivist had to go to the Biden administration. And for all of these issues, and issues related to January 6th as well, the Biden administration has said there's no executive privilege that applies to these documents at all. And so this New York Times report goes on to detail that by May and even by June, it was uncovered that basically you have these 300 classified documents, CIA documents, highly sensitive documents that could place our national security in peril. That was the first report. Then later, John Solomon posts on his website, Just the News, a radical right extremist website that's mislabeled Just the News, but we'll save that for a whole nother story. Remember, John Solomon's the one who's been going on the radical extremist news channels and saying, voila, with a magical pen, Donald Trump can waive the executive privilege. And so what this letter shows, it's a May 10th letter by the head of the National Archives sent to one of Donald Trump's lawyers. The head of the National Archives sent this letter on May 10th. Her name is Deborah Wall. Trump's attorney is Evan Corcoran. And in the letter, it describes, Trump's team objecting to disclosing the contents of the 15 boxes. Here's what the letter says. As you are no doubt aware, NARA had ongoing communications with the former president's representatives throughout 2021 about what appeared to be missing presidential records, which resulted in the transfer of 15 boxes of records to NARA, National Archives, in January 2022, Wall wrote. In its initial review of materials within those boxes, NARA identified items marked as classified national security information up to the level of top secret and including sensitive compartmented information and special access program materials. And from this reporting, we believe there may be over 700 classified pages of classified documents that were obtained as well over the highest level, again, of sensitive, state secrets here. One of the other things to point out is that in this reporting, Donald Trump apparently himself went through the 15 boxes prior to them being turned over in January of 2022. He personally rummaged through the boxes. And so what that means and what that can establish is Trump's intent himself, because we know from the August 8th search that they obtained top secret, sensitive, compartmented information from the return and what's listed. And so what appears to have happened is Trump looked at it, clawed back the documents that he wanted to keep, that he thought he should have, which he stole and which he's not allowed to have, which put our national security at risk. Then in June, one of Trump's lawyers signed a declaration and made a statement, a false statement to FBI agents and the DOJ that all of these documents were turned over, which they were not. And then you have the August 8th search warrant that was executed. Now, earlier in the day on Monday, Donald Trump filed a very bizarrely styled motion about requesting judicial intervention, called for a judicial review, and asked for the appointment of a special master. This was filed and initiated as a new case before an Article 3 federal judge. This was not filed before the magistrate judge and Judge Reinhart. This was filed before the Article 3, new Article 3 judge, asking for the appointment of a special master. And the only issue here, of course, is that it's been 2 weeks since the documents have been taken by the FBI in connection with the lawful execution of the search warrant. So having the special master appointed at this stage really doesn't matter, because the Department of Justice likely has reviewed all of these documents and had a taint team basically go through everything and look through all of the documents. But Donald Trump's motion didn't even have affidavits attached to it, had no declarations. It's a very, very, very bizarre motion. So what does this all mean? We now have a much deeper picture into all of the classified information that was obtained. We have a deeper insight into the highly sensitive nature into what was obtained here. And we know the levels and layers of obstruction that was taking place by Donald Trump here. And now the next question that we will likely be finding out soon is, what was Donald Trump using this information for? What was he doing with this information? In other words, who was he blackmailing? Who was he selling this information to? How was he manipulating this information? What was he doing to destroy this information? Michael Cohen was on the MeidasTouch podcast very recently, and he said, look, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm sure it wouldn't surprise you that Donald Trump would be using these records as forms of blackmail, as forms of personal profit. But we will find these out. But why Trump's lawyer, John Solomon, posted this, is probably one of the dumbest things to do. And he probably posted it because he thought that because Biden was had to not agree with the executive privilege claim, that somehow implicated Biden. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. These are not even executive privilege documents in the first place. But in any event, by publishing this, it paints a very grim picture for Trump. These are incriminating documents that were published. We will keep you updated with more information here on the MeidasTouch Network. I'm Ben Meiselas. Make sure to support independent media by clicking the subscribe button now. Click the subscribe button right now.
Hey Midas Mighty, Emma Silverman here, reminding you to make this November Rovember. Check out the new MeidasTouch Rovember t-shirt collection at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com. Hurry up and get your Rovember t-shirt before they sell out. Let's go.